I had an encounter with the Lord some years ago where he revealed to me a diamond. And during the time of my talking with him and meditating on what it was he was showing me, he told me that I was one of the facets on that diamond. But you see, this diamond was a little bit different. The diamond had a light, which was the Father, on the inside, at the very center of the diamond. And so the light that was reflected and refracted from the diamond itself was not from the outside, which is typically the way that we see a diamond. It was instead reflecting and refracting from the inside. And so it really began to mess with me, because the moment that I realized that he was saying that I was one of the facets, I realized that we are all facets of that same diamond. So as I meditated on it a little bit further, the Lord took me to a place of where I asked this question. I said, Lord, well, what about the person on the other side of the diamond? You know, they're going to see things completely different. Because one of the things that hit me was how each facet had like its own view directly into the throne room of God. And the facets beside me and others could see the similar, but they had a slightly different perspective than I did. And so hence the place of where I started asking the question, well, what about the person on the opposite side of the diamond? And what the Lord did was he had me to turn around and look out of only my facet. Truth be told, I hated it, because I could no longer see the true beauty of the diamond like I had before. And the Lord could sense what was going on the inside of me. And but what I noticed was that all I could see was my own perspective. But when I turned back around, I immediately looked to find the light, to find Father at the center of the diamond. And as soon as I found him, I looked to that facet that was opposite of me. And I asked the Lord, I said, how can this be? And how can we overcome this place of these opposite perspectives? And he looked at me and he said this. He said, as long as you are both looking at me, you will always find commonalities in what appear to be opposites. The two sides work together to create the whole. That changed my life forever, because I began to realize that each of us have a perspective, and that perspective is beautiful and it's necessary. It's a part of who we are. And the gift that Father has given you is more than you could ever imagine, number one. And number two, you are an integral part of the Father and everything he's doing in the earth. So as we join together and we reflect and refract the light of the Father from this diamond, the world can see that we are a city set up on a hill that cannot be hidden. Blessings and shalom.